Hi, everyone. I'm Bev Adamo with Wild and Wise Women, Wild and Wise Sisterhood. And oh my God, I'm so excited. I can hardly contain myself because today I get to talk with Stephanie Roman. Hi, Steph. Hi, Steph.
Hi.
I know it's like, well, here I go up into falsetto.
Hi,
It's like, ooh, okay. Let me ground a
both
minute.
of
You
us
know what
together.
I know both of right? Like off the chart. So welcome everyone, whether you're catching us live or you're catching us on the replay. We're here to talk about this amazing, soon to be launched Wild and Wise Women first ever book collaborative. Oh my goodness. And we have 10 of the most incredible, awesome, fabulous women on the planet. And we'll soon be looking for 10 more. So when any of you women out there are inspired by what we're doing here, let me know. I already have a couple of people who've contacted me and say, I want in the next book. I'm not even sure what the next book is, and that's okay. But it's like, come ahead, come ahead. And Stephanie, so today, and all of you also want to let you know, all of our authors have been interviewed in terms of talking about, who they are and what the writing process was like. And Stephanie, you're one of my favorites for that one. Well, you're all my favorites. I got like 10 favorites, and 10 authors, 10 favorites. And now today with these, what we're going to talk about is your actual chapter. What's your story, what you're bringing in. And because you're my hero first, Stephanie. You're
Oh,
an amazing. Oh, you are. You consistently and constantly inspire and guide me and invite me into a state of awe. So thank you for that. And your chapter, oh my God, from whispers, and I love whispers. I love listening to the whispers of the universe.
oh,
From
absolutely.
from whispers to Wonder Woman, who's like, yes, my woman. So please let me zip my lip and open this space, this sacred, amazing space, and talk to us about, whatever you want to. If you want to give a little bit about who you are or how that relates to your chapter or anything, but whispers to Wonder Woman, what does that mean?
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm so excited to be on. I'm always like very excited, much less since I'm around. I'm like, oh my God. My story is not, I don't feel like unlike a lot of people's, which is why I love telling it, because even
Mm,
though someone might not be going through the exact same journey that I went through, if I can inspire someone to start looking within instead of listening to and being distracted, because everything in the external, all of our reality, everything that we see, everything that we interact with is really a distraction from what's going on inside. And
mhm,
that's where my chapter begins, is building myself up to be what was considered the American dream. So that looked like, a dream house, like a McMansion, all different types of fancy cars and a 4.5 carat ring and all of the material items that were supposed to, the shoulds that were going to make me happy. And
right.
I found myself, I actually didn't find myself. I was very lost. My health began to collapse. I had a heart attack. I had a 6.5 minute seizure, and all of
Whoa.
the immune diseases just came out because I wasn't listening to me. I was following what everyone else wanted me to be.
And
So,
Steph, how old were you when you were going through all these a heart attack? Oh my gosh! And
yes,
uh,
I was 20 when I had the heart attack. I was 26, and when I had the 6.5 minute seizure, I was 27. Um,
wow.
I got alopecia when I was 28. Even though I had signs of it, when I would get stressed, I would lose little tiny parts of my hair. It started coming out just where I would wake up. I would have dreams about suffocating, and I would wake up just with hair in my mouth. It was just so much coming out.
Wow.
I was faced to look at myself because I didn't have this place to hide anymore of normality like I did even when I was going through health scares. I still on the outside looked normal, quote unquote. So I just kept soldiering on. I didn't really look at what was the cause. I was in an abusive relationship.
Mm,
So it was a compounding effect. But what it all came down to was I was not being true to myself. And I literally at 29, I got divorce papers because I would not, I mean, part of it was I would not wear a wig. I would not fit the mold anymore. And I was 29. I was bald. I walked away with basically my dog, who I'm pointing next to me because she's sleeping next to me, uh, my car and a computer and a bag full of clothes. I had no idea what I was going to do. I was faced with looking at the whispers because there was nowhere else to go.
Mm.
So that's like the beginning of my chapter and where those whispers were. I'm not going to say it was an easy road. It was not.
Mm.
There was a lot of self-doubt that went into actually trusting. I am a psychic, so I've always had abilities, but there was a lot of doubt that came into, am I crazy? Is this really happening? Am I
Yeah.
experiencing things? So that's where my Wonder Woman power started to kind of, I want to say like ebb. Like there was a light there that would not let me give up. It just
Mm.
as much as I wanted to. And I prayed for days, just like let me be. Everyone has that inside of them though. So I've built two companies now and I've made yeah, a living for myself. And then I'm blessed enough to be asked even to do this book, which is a real testament to me when I see you and then all of the other authors where I was sitting around there listening to their stories the first time we all met and I was just bawling because I was like, these women are so badass. So it was really, again, it's like things like that really, it's gonna make me cry. Things like that really, again, make that Wonder Woman power just like ebb even more to get me through the times where I don't feel so Wonder Woman-ish. So that's what my chapter's all about.
Wow, that's amazing. And Stephanie, if correct me if I'm wrong with it, I think that you also had, besides a part of the social norms had to do with, being in a specific religion, or what was even okay for you to believe or anything. And I can imagine that because sometimes in different religions, no judgment, simply an observation here, is that sometimes their doctrines are, lead us down a path of like, well, it's not okay to do this, or it's not okay to do that, or it's not okay to hear those whispers.
Right.
And that must have been quite a journey to allow yourself or to liberate yourself from those kinds of upbringing, because they're really strong and there's a reason for that. I mean, religion
Oh.
itself can be an incredible support system,
Mhm.
and it can also be an incredible prison. So I'm really
Right.
interested to hear, was there anything in particular that helped you to integrate all of that? Because it's not
Yeah.
necessarily just throwing everything out. It's about
Yeah,
taking what
absolutely.
serves and bringing it with me, or with you. So can you
Yeah,
talk a little bit about that?
sure. So I was raised very strict Southern Baptist, and there was abuse that went on in my household from that from that doctrine of a hierarchy of like male women being subservient to men,
Mm.
and there was a lot that went into me. If I was to say anything about my psychic ability, which I kept it, I didn't really. I knew better, but
Yeah.
it was always like, well, you're the devil, or there's something seriously wrong with you.
Mm.
And I just remember we went to church. So, I mean, our whole life was church. So, we put on a mask when we went to church. And when we came home, it was different. And I can remember just bawling like several times in my room. I was not understanding why everyone else felt and saw God in this way. And then I was separate and I felt like, am I not enough? Like, what's wrong with me that I can't feel like other people do?
Yeah.
And what I started, I wasn't, I tried a lot of religions for a long time, like just different ones, because I believe, like you said, that there's a good that runs through all religion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like finding the meat and letting go of the bone, or like finding the meat and letting go of the bones of it.
Mhm.
Um, I wasn't religious for a long time, and now I go to a New Thought church, which really is amazing because it blends the morals of Christianity in with psychic and metaphysics and manifestation. But it took me, I mean, good Lord, I'm 35, so it took me like 33 years to
Mhm.
find my calling. And the best thing that ever helped me get here is really my support system, which started with my coach, Emily Rose. I had no friends when I started with her, literally coaching. after my divorce. And then she introduced me, like, obviously to you, Bev, and then all of these other doors of these amazing women that were
Mm.
support. And we need, being sisters, we need that type of support. And it's really easy, I think, to feel like there isn't that sisterhood, or like there's a
Yes.
insecurity or cattiness sometimes to
Yes.
women,
Yeah.
when in actuality, all I've felt since my divorce with every woman I met is just pure love.
Oh, that's so amazing. That's the other thing that I love about just the title of your chapter is, from Whispers to Wonder Woman, is that, for me, Wonder Woman really epitomized that collaboration. It's a whole, and we want the divine masculine, we want the
Totally.
masculine period, in whatever shape or form. Doesn't have anything to do so much with gender or sexual preference or anything like that. I mean, we definitely, that is a part. It's what keeps us moving. And all of those women on the island, whether you all out
Yeah.
there seen the movie or not, but this tribe of women who were warriors and
Mm.
are warriors, and they're strong and they're capable, and they have this incredible communication, and they can work together, and they
Yeah.
did so
Yeah.
well. And so that's another reason that I love that analogy of Wonder Woman with the tribe, with the women who
Mhm.
absolutely had each other's back, period. And that's what I found, as well, in this collaborative that we've
Oh,
done. It's like all the
absolutely.
authors are really so much there. So, and you mentioned something about the 30 some years to
Yeah.
find your calling and get there and everything. Can you tell me what in your chapter, is there something in your chapter that talks to women about, how they can do that, or how they can, get to that place where they do feel like Wonder Woman, instead of,
Right.
this very powerless person who has no control over what's going on in her life?
Well, that's a great question. So there's a lot of things that I changed lifestyle wise. Some of the big ones though that I spoke to in the chapter were meditation, and I think that that's now a lot of people. We're blessed to live in an age where we can speak freely about these tools and not be
Yes.
held to a different standard. It's but
Yeah.
meditation is the one thing that, even if it's for 5 minutes, I mean, I have hamster brain still. I meditate every day. I still have hamster brain. There's some days it's just like it's not going to settle down. Just take like 5 to 15 minutes, and it really centers you, because when you have like just that still space, it blocks out all of the distraction that you're seeing around you, and it really allows you to tune into that little voice that's inside of you, whatever you want to call that, whether that's like
Mhm.
God, the divine, your higher self. That's the beginning of reorienting yourself. And then I
Love
think
it.
that the other thing that I just heard, which is so true, is boundaries. uh
Ah.
I'm Stephanie, and I'm a recovering people pleaser. So finding the boundaries of what you
Amen.
allow. Yeah, it's what you allow that you call in. Not You have to find your power in knowing that everything that you see is something you created. And then finding that, you can either go down a pity party hole, which I have pity party days, or you can turn it
Me
into,
too.
yeah, it's like, just do it. Just have the emotion, get it out, and then, all right, what do you want to create from here? And it's that easy. It's
Yeah,
like, what do you want?
I love that. And thank you for that, because that is so important for all of us to recognize, is that it isn't like a straight shot. I mean, like you said, there are times, even in our Wonder Woman abilities and where we are, there are still times when we run into things that make it super tough to
Oh,
access
absolutely.
that. And so
Yeah.
then that's when we get to use the tools like you're talking about, that's really
Mhm.
going to make a difference. And whether we're, whether we're in that place of being Barbie doll, or whether we're that live and animated and really full of life Wonder Woman. I love that as well. And so, Steph, I just want to take a couple minutes because we're about ready to wrap up, but I wanted to talk about the fact. So you have, for this book launch, when you buy a book or you share the event or you share that the book is launching, you have, all of our authors have gifts that we're going to be giving away and drawing. So can you talk a little bit about what you have to offer? Because I'm so excited about it. It's
Sure.
like, I want to win this. I want to win it.
Well, what I have to offer is what I do what I'm blessed to do for a living. That's what who I just am, which is I am a channel for the divine, God, source, whatever you want to call that force within you. that voice, that
Yes.
whisper, or that Wonder Woman. I
Yeah.
am a direct channel. So I tell you in this moment what you need to move forward and help you remember who you really
Mhm.
are, like when you came to this world. There's no fear or lack, or it's just love and forward momentum. I think everyone can use some clarity. So that's what I'm giving is a 30-minute session with me.
Awesome. Amazing. And having been the recipient of that, it's amazing. Absolutely. I mean, and if you guys don't want, guys, if you don't want to wait for that, contact Stephanie directly because you're just amazing. The information that comes through you, the clarity that's there is beyond what I've experienced ever, really. So you're awesome. And so I want to welcome you, everyone, to get in contact with Stephanie. Facebook's a great way to do it, Messenger, all that kind of thing. And Steph, thank you again so much for joining me and for talking about these things that, we're both so excited about. And yeah. And so I would love to invite you, Steph, to, what's the parting message that we have for all of our wild and wise women out there?
Be consistent and hold the vision. It's not going to
Mm.
be every day. Like when you put in the work every day, though, I promise you, and hold the vision of whatever it is, whether it's something small or something big, and you're consistently seeing that in some way at the light of the end of the tunnel, kind of even when you're having a really hard day, it'll happen. You're
Awesome.
magic.
I love it. Fantastic. Thank you, Steph. Yes,
Thank
all
you.
you wild and wise women, be consistent, hold the vision because we are worth it. Absolutely. Okay, and we'll see you soon. Let's see you next time with the next author. And Steph, I'll talk to you very soon as well. So excited for all of this. Thanks for being along on this amazing